We have one day before our appointment with Danon. We could use that time to get some rest. Haven't we done a lot of resting already? That's a great idea. We've been at it for a while now. I don't know how you do it. I've been controlling Morpher for a short time and I feel exhausted. You've done enough. I can take over. I need a break too. The white-haired demon's been slave driving me for hours. Malthus removed his hat and wiped the sweat from his forehead. Arcadia growled and pointed at him. You're the one that corrupted Dawn's function, so you're helping to fix them. I've been at it for hours too, you know. I think Malthus just likes to see you angry. You got that right. I have fun with it. He drives me crazy. I'll need to find other ways to replenish my energy reserves until I can exit this form and return within the ship. What are your options? As he asked the question, Dawn's stomach gurgled. I found it very appropriate that should my energy run low, a warning should sound. I programmed this function to aid me in monitoring my energy output. Eating is one way I can regain my strength. You're becoming more human day by day. Come with me, I'll fix you something to eat. Anything to get me away from this rat. I believe I gave him the nickname Mouse. Rat is more suitable. Would anyone like to play with me? Sorry kid, I'm exhausted. Maybe another time. You guys are no fun. I'm going to play a video game. Malthus exited to the right and entered into his own quarters. Dawn and Arcadia exited to the dining area on the left. Kev decided this was the best time to take a nap. 4 hours later. An aroma entered Kev's room as he slept. The pleasant smell awoke him. After rubbing the sleepiness from his eyes, he sniffed a couple times in reflex. That smells good, whatever it is. He followed the scent into the dining area where Arcadia was frantically dashing back and forth. What are you doing? Arcadia thought she was alone and jumped, being startled. When she noticed it was Kev, she returned to what she was doing. You're not supposed to be here. Kev noticed the kitchen area was a mess with dishes, bowls of yellow and black liquid and powder everywhere. Arcadia's complexion was whiter than usual with smears of the powder all over her face. I looked up a recipe in the ship database of an old Earth cuisine. Chocolate chip cookies. Have you heard of them? I've read about them in a book. I've always wanted to try one. Now let me try reading that one from as a little more excited then. I've read about them in a book. I've always wanted to try one. I used the ship's food synthesizers to replicate some of the ingredients, then I modified the machine to emit temperatures of 350 degrees. She hovered over the computer display panel. The instructions say this is the perfect temperature. The timer went off on the synthesizer. Hold on a second. I can help. I've got it. Arcadia opened the machine and with some metal clamps pulled out a tray of cookies. She set them on the table and slumped into a chair. Phew, it's not easy to bake. Kev sat down next to the cookies on the table, looking at them intently. As soon as they cool, feast away. These are for me? You may have as many as you like. I don't mind if the others have some too. I hope they taste good. If they taste as good as they smell, I'm in for a treat. As soon as the first cookies cooled down, Kev brought the treat to his mouth and took a big bite. Except there was one problem. He couldn't bite through. Is there something wrong? None at all. Kev mumbled with the cookie still in his mouth. It's a little tough, but I like it. With a little more force, Kev crunched his first bite of the cookie. It sounded like he was chewing on a rock. Does it taste alright? Arcadia asked, even though watching him eat looked painful. It's delicious. I've never had a better cookie. Arcadia gritted her teeth as he gulped down the last piece. To her surprise, he picked up another cookie to take another bite. I won't let you. She snatched the cookie from his hand and hung her head in disappointment. I can build an energy converter from scratch, but can't bake a simple cookie. Kev stands up a little angry and grabs the cookie back. Hey, and was eating that. Kev gulps it down after chewing repeatedly. It's obvious the cookie is inedible. Her eyes lit up happily. Okay. At least this moment is understandably a nice moment. I don't think the others were as nice. I think they seemed very forced, or perhaps too rapid. I forget what game or story I read it from, but it was something like, a man's job is to eat the girl's cooking no matter how bad it is. I don't know. That's probably like a horribly sexist idea, but I think it resonates well with this scene. After he finished the second cookie, she stopped him before he could take another. I have a better idea. Shooting targets. Together, they collected the rest of the cookies. Yeah, okay, yeah. Together, they collected the rest of the cookies, and Arcadia led them to an area built for shooting practice. I think I know what you're up to. Arcadia went a ways off with the cookies and set several of them up as targets. Then she returned to his side. It's about time you learned to shoot. She hands him her pistol. I realize you're a beast with this gun, but I shoot just fine. I know how to handle myself. It's a small target. I almost forgot. Arcadia took off her ring and handed it to him. The gun won't work without it. Your fingers are small. Will it fit? Any finger will do. After fitting the ring comfortably, Keb put the gun sights on the cookie target. The shot went out with a flash and the blast hit the target. Keb blew on the barrel. You see? I'm a pro. Congratulations, you killed a cookie. Anyone can hit a target with my gun when it's motionless. Arcadia pressed the button on the remote, and the remaining cookie targets began moving left and right. Suddenly the cookies became a small blur. Keb brought up the gun again and let a shot fly. The shot completely missed. He tried again. Missed again. He couldn't hit a single target. He was worse than she thought. Arcadia wanted to help him by studying his hands, straightening his shoulders, and giving advice, but she couldn't touch him. If she did, many anxieties would come swirling in her stomach, and she'd feel sick. She was hoping for an opening. Perhaps if Keb turned around to ask her for advice? But he was being stubborn and kept shooting away like a jerk, not considering the feelings of the girl behind him. The pressure was almost as exhausting as baking cookies. Keb lowered the weapon and it powered down. No one can hit a target like that. They're too fast and too small. That's not how you shoot, idiot. If we were in a real fight, you'd get yourself killed. Being angry was the only way she could approach him. Although she wasn't really angry, it was an act. My gun is an extension of your arm. Aim your weapon again. Keb raised the gun. Since he was holding it with his right arm, she slipped in from the left and cupped her hands over his. You need to use both hands and arms, like this. She placed her finger over his finger and the trigger. Then she moved his arm around until she felt she had complete control of the movement. Lead the target. As soon as the weapon powered up, she let loose a barrage of shots at the moving targets. Keb could feel his finger being pressed with each shot. The cookies disintegrated as the shots hit. 5 shots for 5 cookies. She released her grip, and the gun powered down. Let me think. So she made 8 cookies. Keb looked directly at her with a smile. I guess when the target is right in front of you, you just have to go for it. Arcadia didn't reply to the comment, but instead quickly stepped behind him, so she wouldn't have to look at him or have him look at her, being slightly embarrassed. In truth, it didn't matter if Keb couldn't shoot. She made up her mind that she would protect him at all costs, even if he didn't feel the same way about her. Suddenly, her legs became very tired, as if the last of her energy was drained from her body. Her eyes couldn't stay open and her legs were trembling. The long hours of endless work and worries were catching up to her. She lost her balance. She felt the weight of gravity pulling her down until something appeared in front of her and stopped her fall. Keb's sister collapsed and sidestepped to catch her with his back. Arcadia leaned against the strong back. It was firm and comfortable. She felt secure and safe. Keb could feel her gentle warm body on his back. He didn't turn around but bent his knees. She cradled his back as he lowered. From that position, he holstered the weapon, stood and grabbed onto her legs to keep her from falling. She had just enough strength to wrap her arms around his neck, and she was out. You're not done. You can't stay active 24 hours a day. He brought her to her bed, leaned to the side, and let her fall off comfortably. He grabbed a nearby bundled-up blanket and stretched it over her. Her expression was pleasant and Keb felt drawn to her. This must be how you looked for a century as you slept. Keb watched her sleeping peacefully for several minutes before he started talking to himself. I get it. You've had a lot of practice sleeping. You're natural. I bet nothing can wake you now. It's almost too much for me to handle. Seeing you like that, so innocent, and I want to roll up beside you. What am I saying? Keb felt his heart beat fast. He turned his head away and walked out the door quickly. Let's go and just summon everything. I'll keep this one as reserve. Come in, strange ship. Are communications working? You almost flew right into us. Do you know how to fly that thing? I didn't hit you, did I? No, I guess you did. What seems to be the trouble? Greetings. Greetings to you too? My name is Suzumi, and it's a pleasure to meet you. The girl on the view screen smiled brightly and waved her arm ecstatically. She was very polite. Nice to meet you, Suzumi. I'm Firehawk. You don't have to be so formal. Never heard of a strange name like Firehawk before. You'll get used to it. It seems the kid is honest too. Did you know, mister, that your hair is sticking up? It's a little bit like mine. You mean that ponytail on the top of your head? It's a fountain. Arcadia walked into view. Ooh, your hair is very pretty. Thanks. Who is this? Arcadia turned to Keb for answers. This is Suzumi. She just randomly ran into us and started making small talk. I know it's the battle music because the ship's flying by, but it's like, you know, there's like whatever. Arcadia just hates this person music. I know that's really not what's going on, but that was kind of an inappropriate music interlude. Hi, Suzumi. I really like how your hair is longer in the front and tied. You should try pulling both bundles behind your neck and use one hairpiece. It would look cute. I wonder if at any point she ever does do this and has a different sprite model, 2D paper doll. I don't know what to call it. Thanks. I'll give that a try sometime. I like how your hair is tied up like a fountain. See, Firehawk? I told you it was a fountain. By the way, could you do me a favor and point me in the direction of the Battle Coliseum? After she asked, Kev noticed the area around the girl was quite a mess. She appeared to be alone. Kev scanned her ship to see if anyone else was on board. Never heard of that place. Keb, do you know anything about it? I've heard of it from rumors. I didn't think it existed. What? You're kidding me. I thought everyone knew about it. Ships from around the galaxy come together to fight it out. Bam, bam, huge explosion, crash, roars. It's so fun. I go every year. How are you lost if you go every year? One of life's curses. I'm really bad with directions. My autopilot malfunctioned is all. Did you borrow Dad's ship or something? A little girl like you shouldn't be out here alone. Suzumi must have taken that as an insult, because the comment made her a little upset. She brought her fist to the side of her hips. I am not a little girl. I am a warrior. She started breathing heavily and looked like she was ready to explode. Okay, sorry. You're a strong, grown woman. I'll go check if Dawn knows anything about the Coliseum. Keb left in a hurry, and Suzumi let out a big sigh. Arcadia remained. A few moments... Where's my mouth? There it is. A few moments later, Malthus, Dawn, and Keb came into the room. Suzumi seemed to have returned to her happy self. Ooh. That woman looks very strong. How many pounds can you lift? Everyone, say hello to Suzumi. She wants to go to the Coliseum. Do you happen to know where that is? That location is not in my records. Can you take that armor off? Are you a robot? Suzumi asked Dawn bluntly. I'm sorry, Suzumi, but since none of us know the location of the Coliseum, we should really be on our way. Who is this little girl anyway? Why are we even talking to her? Suzumi narrowed her radiant magenta eyes and pointed at Malthus. Who are you calling a little girl, small fry? Seems I should teach you a lesson. I challenge you to a stare down. Well, that's better than us shooting it out. That's what I thought it was going to devolve into. Back when he first called her a little girl. We really don't have time for this. I accept. Malthus shoved everyone out of the way and got closer to the view screen. Suzumi did the same. It looked like her face was smudged against the glass. No blinking. I never cheat. I never lose. I spend all day looking at bright computer screens. There's no way I can lose. Alright, that's enough. As Keb shouted, almost as if command, he let out a huge... Okay. He let out a huge fart. The intensity of the stirring match instantly dissolved. Suzumi started laughing hysterically and closed her eyes. It was loud enough to register over communications. Seriously, Keb, that's disgusting. That smells... ugh, horrible. Arcadia plugged their nose. Malthus joined Suzumi in laughing and also blinked his eyes as a result. Suzumi and Malthus laughed so wholeheartedly that their eyes began to water. They looked at Dawn, who was speechless and seemed to have a look of shock across her face. That made the situation funnier. Dawn didn't say a word, but turned her rigid body and left the room promptly. I'm coming with you. Arcadia caught up to Dawn and followed her. Keb worked to contain the situation. I win! I defeated both of you, now get a grip. Suzumi? Yes? She tried to answer but was having trouble while rubbing the tears from her eyes. We have to go. Oh. Suzumi calmed a little and seemed disappointed. Malthus, get off the floor and go to your room. Malthus groaned in complaint, but obeyed and left for his room. Will I ever see you again? No, Suzumi, go home. It's not safe. You cheated. I was going to win. She challenged him. Her emotions showed her mad and sad at the same time. Cheating or not, I won. Now go home. Fine, I'll go. Bye, I guess. Suzumi closed off communication and her ship's engines lit up. I kind of wonder if I was allowed to blow up her ship. So that's not it. I guess I can't even see the coordinates right now. It's like those things don't even care about fighting me. I'm assuming that's like money or something. Why is it gray now? Yeah, it's just a med pack. Since I'm not planning on keeping the game, it's not really a concern for me. I would like to talk with you for a moment before going in. What can I do for you? I need you to be with me when we meet up with Danon. I'm afraid of him. I'm afraid of what I might do. I've prepared myself, but if I lose control, I need you to stop me. I will kill him. I understand. Don't tell Kev. He doesn't need this to be his problem. I never knew this, Danon, but I want to ask, is Danon responsible for the extinction of our civilization? Honestly, I don't know if what happened is what he intended. That's what scares me the most. I am with you and will never betray you. Arcadia thanked her with a nod and a smile. In another part of the ship, Kev met with Malthus in secret. I don't know why she had to specify she'll never betray. Well, alright. Malthus entered the room. Did anyone follow you? No, I backtracked several times and no one seemed to notice me. You didn't need to do that. There are only 2 other people on this ship. Can never be too careful. Am I about to go on a covert mission? I have a highly secretive, level 1 security job for you. That actually sounds exciting. This is what you need to do. When you're ready, enter Remnos Station for your meeting. I've heard some rich kid is roaming the sector looking for the Galactic Coliseum. That's where the top fighter pilots gather to show who's best. That girl better return home before she gets kidnapped by pirates on her way there. I'm sure parents would pay a hefty bounty for her safe return. I assume if I buy it again, I get the exact same story. Yep. Of course, he still helped himself to my money. I don't get my old ship back, the one that got blown up. Of all places, Kev didn't want to meet at Slicer's bar. Last time, it led to the destruction of his bar and livelihood, although at least they were meeting somewhere familiar. When they opened the doors, the music played a tune even though no one was around. Kev could see Danon, sitting tables away, sipping a drink. Dawn and Arcadia followed behind Kev as he led the way. Danon stood up when he saw the group heading towards him. Hello there, friends! Arcadia gasped, and then quickly regained her composure. It didn't take long for Kev to discern the reason for her reaction. This was the same Danon from her past, the same person that had caused her so much grief. Kev picked up his pace and separated himself from the others. I'm glad you came quickly, Firehawk. Kev swung his fist, bringing his body into it to increase the force of the punch. His punch landed hard against Danon's cheek, jaw, and nose. The extreme force caused Danon to tumble backwards over the chair he had been sitting in. That's not all I've got! For what you've done to Arcadia, I will kill you! Kev screamed with anger and approached with elbow back, readying another punch. Stop! The cough stopped Kev in motion, and an arm wrapped around his elbow, holding him back. He breathed heavily as he turned his head to look. Kev saw Arcadia holding tightly onto him. It must have taken everything she had to hold him back. I'm about to beat the snot out of him. Isn't this the man that ruined your life? Just knowing that you care is enough. Please, Kev, this is not your fight. Is that you, Arcadia? Danon got up and rubbed his jaw. He seemed a bit shaken, but fine otherwise. That was a solid punch and he took it well. You look as beautiful as ever. Haven't aged a day. Never thought you'd be the one to rescue me from a good thrashing. Just then another fist planted under Danon's face. The punch sent him tumbling backwards, and this time knocked him out cold. Dawn rubbed her hands, and turned to Arcadia with a big smile. That was her way of reassuring Arcadia that she was there for her. It took 30 minutes for Danon to wake up. Dawn managed to find some ice in the bar to reduce the swelling in Danon's face. Danon sat with the girls talking over the situation with the virus and their plans to defeat it. Dawn acted as a sort of mediator between the two, replaying to Arcadia his plan to defeat the virus and apologies. Kev kept at a distance, not really sure he could handle being part of the conversation. After an hour of talking, Dawn waved for Kev's attention and he was brought to the table with the others. First, I have to mention what I told the others. I had no idea this would happen. When I modified D-Sub, it was not for the purpose of destroying our entire civilization. Well, that's good it was an accident. That just makes everything so much better. Was it for power? Yes. Was it for money? Yes, but that's it. I'm not a heartless man. I never meant for this to happen. Stop talking. Danon pressed the ice sack against his head. I will spend the rest of my days repenting my actions. I will do everything in my power to stop the virus. You will do everything in your power to shut up. And I'm sure you've worked out a plan. Give me the shortened version. The information Danon collected is valuable. While Arcadia slept, D7 acquired new abilities, making it a greater threat than it was in the past. D7 found the location of the secret astral base where Morpher was built, and adapted some of the technologies into its matrix. This is the reason D7 has knowledge of morphic duplication. With the power of Omni Link and the last of the astral ships, D7 conquered many civilizations without morphic duplication. Morphic duplication was not possible without a ship capable of this function, so D7's fleet slowly diminished. That is until D7 found a vessel capable of duplicating itself like Morpher. I don't like the sound of that. Danon refers to it simply as the mothership. It's a large vessel capable of storing power in vast amounts. Using the energy of the sun, this vessel can duplicate and control a massive number of ships. Once the ships are created, D7 can control them through Omni Link. I get the picture now. All we have to do is take this mothership down. And I know the location of this mothership. Once we destroy it, D7 will have no means of duplicating more ships. The virus will be vulnerable. We will start by... Danon stopped mid-sentence as the Cantina computer monitors turned on. A special alert flashed across the screen. The group watched in anticipation. Attention, citizens of this galaxy. This is your protector and leader Zeus of the Zeus Coalition. Last week, a horrific attack took place in the Aloran Star sector. Your sons and daughters working to protect us from the virus, slaughtered. I am here to confirm the rumors to be true. This event was perpetuated by none other than the virus threat we know so little about. It is the mission of the Zeus Coalition to defend you from such threats. I call on the citizens of the galaxy to help. This ship was seen leaving the Aloran Star sector. Well, that's nice. Just then, Morpher came into view. The monitor showed recorded footage of Morpher in some sort of battle, then leaving the Aloran Star sector through the warp gate. Well, that ship that I fought with blew up, so no worries there. If you see this ship, or its occupants... The crew's faces appeared on the screen. First Arcadia, then Dawn, then Keb. The only person missing, Malthus. Please report to the requisitions office at your neighboring station for information on bounties. This is Zeus, fighting for love and peace. I will do everything in my power to bring these virus collaborators to justice. I'm not sure love and peace is a good descriptor. Like, I don't think this is supposed to be satirical. That is all. The screens faded to black. See, I told you! Danon slammed his hand against the table in anger. Zeus was working with the virus all along. Keb had a look of complete shock across his face. I don't believe it. How could it be so wrong? Daniel, me, and the other cadets, we were all working for the virus? Danon has applied the coordinates of the virus mothership. Its location is the Hearst system. We hit it with everything we've got. Dawn had an eager look on her face. I'll wait here. Keep me updated on your progress. I'm not keeping you informed of anything. You're not a part of this team. Come on, crew. Let's head out. When Malthus called for Keb to report on his mission, Keb was surprised to walk into a room with the lights off. Is this a little much? A figure walked into view, although the face was hidden in the shadows. Were you followed? Keb thought he'd play along so he can get the information he needs. I wasn't followed. Was your mission a success? I monitored communication frequencies like you asked, both incoming and outgoing. What'd you find? Nothing interesting. If someone else listened to your conversation, I would have known. Were you listening to our conversation? Malthus stayed silent like he didn't want to answer. Kind of. Actually, there was one thing I found quite interesting. When the announcements from Zeus appeared, he made it sound like he was speaking live. The signal suggests it was recorded. Does that have any specific relevance? Maybe he needed the message to be played at a specific time, or he was busy. I don't think that's the case, but good work. It's time to head out. There is one more thing. You're waiting till I left to say that. Just to annoy you, yes. But there really is one more thing. I detected extremely high energy readings during your meeting. That's Dawn. She's pretty fired up, but it's to be expected. That explains it. What's going on in here? Why are the lights out? Oh great, it's the Ancient One. Now we're in trouble. You are going to be ancient history when I get my hands on you. That's a good line. There you are, you little rat. Malthus scurried off while Arcadia chased him. Keb used the opportunity to meet up with Dawn and set a course for the Hearst system. I keep forgetting it's E to exit. It says right there, but it's kind of obscured. I used up all my pirate ships on the illusions. Well, that's fine. We'll do what we can. Actually, isn't this just like... Yeah, this is not the warp gate. That's like the sun or something. Hope I don't lose a ship. Alright, so what am I supposed to do? Go to Hearst system, right? Right. This is the location of the virus mothership. The coordinates were given by Dannon. There seems to be a lot of ship activity and the area is considered highly dangerous.